Supreme Uchiha the God. I want to make a few more Jujutsu Kaisen videos. And so today that's what I want to talk about. If you're into Jujutsu Kaisen or into my videos, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Today I want to talk about Yuta Okotsu, and why I think he's actually severely underrated when it comes to his fighting ability and strength. I think a lot of people forget a few things about him. And one of the main things I think people forget is that he has not yet once showcased his full capabilities, right? A lot of people go back to Zero, right? To his fight with Kenjaku. Well, not Kenjaku, with Geto, right? And they're like, Geto would have won if he had all his beasts, and he had Rika fully back then. He doesn't anymore. Yada yada yada. And I would say 100% that, narratively speaking, Yuta is most definitely stronger now than he was then. The reason why he lost the designation was because of Rika. And that's just how powerful Rika is, just as a score spirit alone. That immediately, the second he had Rika, special grade. Immediately. Right? That just goes to showcase the capability of Rika. And I don't think he himself, Yuta, has used the capability of Rika fully. I also think Rika's power grows stronger the more likely Yuta is to die, right? It's kind of implied if you read, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. Now, there's been a lot of changes between, even power scaling wise, and a lot of things changed from Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. It's only kind of half canon in that regards. But we're gonna use it where we can. But if we just think of the narrative, right? When Gojo got sealed, right? Everybody needed a bit of hope, right? And that bit of hope was all put onto the shoulders of Yuta, right? It wasn't Yuji, it wasn't Megumi, it was Yuta, the person that Gojo trusted to lead the next generation, even without him, was Yuta. Now, obviously, he perhaps may have not seen the fact that Sukuna will come back. But I will talk about that as well. I'm going to talk about about Gojo and Sukuna. And again, I think people are misconstruing the narrative implications of the story here. And with Yuta, it's narratively implied that he's way stronger now, right? A, he can actually use his abilities properly, right? B, we don't know how many other moves he's copied, right? Minus the two that we've seen him use, right? We know that in the Sendai Colony, is it Sendai Colony? I hope it was Sendai Colony. When he was fighting them in the deadlock, and a lot of people are gauging, what's his name? Sukuna speed blitzed Ryu, so that means he's probably speed blitz Yuta too, and that's just not true. Because Maki and Yuji were keeping up with Sukuna, right? And we have no reason to believe that Yuta was going anywhere near all out against Ryu and them. You know what I'm saying? He literally could have ended Ryu, and then he was like, fuck it, I'll indulge him. And put his hand out, took the Granite Blast with his bare hands, and then beat him. You know what I'm saying? He literally could have ended it anytime. All right? And he fought 3 special grades with relative ease. He had to use reverse curse energy a lot, but who cares? It's like Hakari. Hakari is jackpot. Who cares if you chop off his arm? He's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's different if you don't have reverse curse energy. You have to fight a bit more cautiously, unless you Gojo, who has reverse curse energy but can't be touched anyway, for the most part. But that's the crazy thing here. If we look at it, it's also narratively implied that Gojo is the ceiling of the story, right? And according to Gojo and according to many, and even the narrator, Yuta is only, when it comes to Jujutsu Sorcerers, only second to Gojo. Only second to Gojo. My dude has more cursed energy than Gojo himself. Bro, I don't know if you understand how much that is. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand that Rika's cursed energy is Yuta's. You know what I'm saying? So Yuta has all that bound. Do you know when he refurbishes? He's refurbishing himself because it was his cursed energy that created that beast, right? So you have to understand that. I think, at least I think that, you know what I'm saying? Correct me if I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying? I could be a tripper. Broken rolling, man. Comment down or something. But, you know what I'm saying? So I actually think that, you know, Yuta is moving at less than 30% right now, I think, right? Because you have to understand that, again, when Yuji first met him, he literally thought it was Gojo. That's how much power emitted from him. He thought Gojo himself was there, but he was like, no, this guy's cursed energy is fucking creepier because of Rika, right? And I think, you know, the ring and the conditions and all of that stuff, I think what will happen, right? I think Yuta will kill Kenjaku, and maybe Sukuna will kill him, right? Narratively speaking, and I'll explain my reasoning in a second. And we still hope Nobara is alive. Please be alive. I might make a separate video about her, but I don't think she's coming back. Even though it's like a popular theory, and we all wish it because we love Nobara, and it felt like she just died with a whimper instead of blazing glory. But yeah, so narratively, the implication here, I think this is probably what's going to happen. And I think, you know, Yuta has a trump card. Kenjaku not worrying about him is good, right? It makes sense. It's good because Kenjaku is super powerful, beat Yuki, right? But we know, according to Gojo, Yuta is stronger than Yuki, right? According to Gojo, because Gojo said he didn't trust Yuki, right? She's been a special grade longer than he was, right? But Gojo didn't trust her. He didn't say she's the second strongest. Yuta is. You know what I'm saying? And we saw how far Yuki pushed Kenjaku, right? I know she lost, and it was like not the greatest showing on Earth, but she could have won if she didn't hold back. But I mean, the world might have ended as well. But you know what I'm saying? It's a suicide bomb, so you can't really, you know what I'm saying? But he had kind of a hard time and lost an arm and shit. You know what I'm saying? He you know what I'm saying? She kind of pushed him a little bit. And he had to pull out all his stops and reveal his curse techniques. Right. So what that tells me is that Yuta, can probably do one or two things. I think he could probably take Rika back. Right. I think he doesn't want to. Right. And I think that's probably his weakness. I think he doesn't want to. Because again, remember, Rika was freed already, but decided to stay anyway. And that's kind of how he still has her. Right. And so I think what could happen here, I think, is that he could merge with Rika. I think also Rika gets way more powerful the more bloodlusted or near death Yuta is, right? I think she can manifest at will. She can force manifest herself to protect him, right? Because you have to understand that the binding vow is of love. You know what I'm saying? They will always be together. That's the thing. And I think one way that they could fully be together forever in life or death is by combining and being one. So that's what I think his ultimate trump card is. And I think he doesn't want to use that because he doesn't want to lose Rika, right? He wants to hold on to her. And that's the reason Rika became a curse in the first place, because he subconsciously refused to believe that she was dead and wanted to stay with her forever. And so Rika was born. And because she also shared the same desire, you know what I'm saying, he basically brought her back as a cursed spirit, you know what I'm saying, and the love is what triggers the power and her abilities. So I think that's one thing that we have to pay attention to. So his ceiling could be way higher than what we've seen, and I think we tend to forget that because we're seeing all these other characters do amazing and great and cool things, and we're like, oh my god, Ryu got speed blitz, so will Yuta get speed blitz? No, he won't. He's stronger than Maki. He's stronger than Yuji. And Yuji and Maki were doing pretty fine against Sukuna. Although he couldn't use his abilities, but his speed and strength was not implied to be slowed down at all. It was only his attacks, aka if he punched really hard, Megumi was stopping him. It was if he tried to do is it Malevolent Shrine? His cutting technique. If he tried to do that shit, that's when Megumi would use energy to try to stop him because he saw that that was a lethal move, right? So physically, he should be able to keep up because Maki and Yuji were able to keep up. Now we know that physically they are kind of superior, naturally, but with cursed energy, Yuta should have no problem keeping up or even perhaps surpassing them. Because we know, cursed energy can help with that, aka Gojo, freaking Satoru, and Sukuna, though great examples. So, I think that's actually the case. I think that Yuta, sorry, that's one option that him and Rika can manifest together, and he gets his actual endless curse energy, so he can spam reverse curse energies, he can spam fucking whatever the fuck he wants, he can spam his curse techniques, and then maybe, he runs out. I don't know if he runs out, considering he can just spam restoration of cursed energy because of how much he has, an endless pit of cursed energy. But I'm sure he has some secret hidden techniques, in the past year or 2 years that he's been away. Because we have to remember that like he's only been a jutsu sorcerer for like a year, actually, right? Maybe a bit longer. He hasn't been a jutsu sorcerer for long at all. He came into it as a special grade off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Even Gojo didn't come off as a special grade off the bat. I mean, he's pretty much kind of considered a special grade from birth, but that's only because of his potential. More so than his actual special grade abilities, which manifested when he awakened, right? So that's what I think. I think that is the case. I really think that Yuta is being underestimated by the fan base and the fandom, and I think Gege is doing that on purpose because I think it creates suspense, right? You're afraid of who will die, right? Even right now, we're thinking, is Maki dead? She got frozen up, and we haven't seen her in chapters. Like, what's going on? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we know how Gege be doing these female characters, so she literally might just be dead. That would be the sorriest ending of a character I've ever seen in my life if that happens. Honestly. I think that's going to drop my Jujutsu Kaisen rating from an 8 to a 6. Off rip. If Maki's done dirty like that, off rip. You know what I'm saying? The Nobara's death, I haven't decided whether to lower it down yet in case she comes back. Right? But that, you know what I'm saying? Okay, a 8 to a 7. But if Nobara happens to 6, if bad deaths, down. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind if a character dies, but they have to die befitting of their character. It has to feel satisfactory. You know what I'm saying? Like Robb Stark dying in Game of Thrones. He just died, but it was sensational. The setup, the build-up, the execution, everything was brilliant. Story-wise, it was amazing. So you felt it, and it stayed with you. So that's the type of level we need here. So Mikey better not just die like those. But, Yuta was the original protagonist of his story for a reason. He's more than likely to survive, if you ask me. But, he did say those two possible endings. Yuji survives and everybody dies, or Yuji dies and everybody survives. But, we already been losing like hella people, so I don't see everybody surviving. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that's where it's at right now. I really think that Yuta is being underestimated. I think he will be the one to kill Kenjaku, and I think Sukuna will kill him. He'll kill Kenjaku and completely run out of juice, and Gojo will take care of Sukuna. You know what I'm saying? I think, just imagine this. Kenjaku and Yuta have this insane fierce battle, and Sukuna's just watching on the side, bored out of his mind. Like, these guys are weaklings. He has all these 20 fingers, and he has Megumi and Maharaga, all of that, right? And trust me, when I make the video of Gojo versus Sukuna, you will understand. But he has all these customer. He's chilling there, 20 fingers, Megumi with the shadows, 10 shadows technique, chilling, watching this shit. And Kenjaku gets folded. And then Sukuna's like, fine, let me, in order to save Kenjaku, he's like, fine, let me, for restoring me, this is the only gift you will get from me. And he gets up and he blitzes Yuta, because Yuta is freaking exhausted after fighting Kenjaku, almost out of curse energy completely, and just about standing. And just as about to slice off his face, Gojo freaking what? Damn, I flopped that goddamn execution. Satoru, you know what I'm saying? Gojo freaking Satoru pulls up and blocks it. And he looks at Yuta while he's blocking Sukuna's hand, bro. He looks at Yuta and he says, "You did well." Ooh, 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 you did well. And you have, you know what I'm saying, Megumi's body got saved, but he lost his 10 Shadows technique somewhere. And Yuji's passed out somewhere after getting his ass beat by somebody. Oh, actually, him and Megumi went to save Gojo while Yuta was supposed to fight Sukuna and Kenjaku. You know what I'm saying? Just to kill time and shit. And Gojo pulls up, blocks that shit, and he says, "You did well, Yuta." And then tell me that's not tell me that was smack, bro. Tell me that, man. I wish I could talk to Gege in real life and tell him, bro, yo, I'm cooking, bro. Let me help you cook, man. Anyways, been your boy Supreme Uchiha God. Hope you liked the video. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys think about my Yuta theories and stuff like that? Anyways, I'm out. Subscribe.